We'll be adding live on Facebook. Okay, so that should be going soon. All right, we'll be getting started here in just a moment. Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and go through the beginning part for the sake of time. So my name is Jeremiah Crane. I am joined here by Tina Chinnekern and Maria Beconte Weisner. We are all members of the Palms Neighborhood Council Elections Committee. And tonight we're hosting the second Palms Neighborhood Council Candidate Forum for our election happening later in June 8th. So for tonight, we will be having our representative areas for C, Area D, and Area E. Originally, we had a lot of candidates who applied for these positions, and that is why we split the candidates into two forums to have equal number of candidates for each one. But due to either scheduling or folks not continuing their campaigns, we have fewer candidates tonight. So it might be a faster forum than it was last Thursday. Make sure I'm covering everything. This will be, a small forum. Each candidate will give equal chance to answer all the questions, as well as answer some questions from the public. Down at the bottom, there is a Q&A button if you want to go ahead and add questions for folks, or we can take questions there, or if you have questions about the elections, we'll answer those. Go ahead and go. Oh, go ahead and go next one. So on our Palms Neighborhood Council elections website, we have all of the information about how to request your ballot, what the candidate statement, where to find a candidate statements, and answer any frequently asked questions about the election. So if you have any information that you don't find there, you also can email us at elections@palmsnc.la. Next slide. Additionally, this is a completely vote by mail election this time. So that means that you will have to go to the clerk's website here to request a ballot. So our election is June 8th. You'll need to request a ballot by no later than June 1st. Notably, there is no in-person requests of the ballot on June 8th itself. So if you do not request a ballot by June 1st, unfortunately, there is no way to do any kind of provisional ballot. There is a drop box, however. So if you've already requested and received your ballot, you can drop off that ballot starting June 5th at the Palms Rancho Park Library. It's in the same box that was used for the federal election last November. So requesting a ballot, showing elections page. Okay. That covers everything, Tina? Okay. All right. For a quick recap on what happened on April 29th, we had a forum that included our executive positions, business reps, community-based organization rep, as well as areas A and B. Notably, the unopposed vice president, treasurer, secretary, business reps, and the community-based and representative area A, they just gave a 1-minute statement, and the president in Area B, we had a traditional forum with the statements, question and answer, and etc., which we'll be doing again tonight. The recordings of the forum can be found on our Facebook page and YouTube, and by the end of the night tonight, will also be on our webpage. We will have the entire forum if you want to watch. It's about an hour and a half. But if you just want to know the specific candidates, we'll have the breakout recordings for the president in Area B. One question we received at the very end of the night last time was, can you send a ballot back once you receive them, or is there an acceptance window? The acceptance window is already open. So if you already received your ballot, although ballots won't be sent out until May 10th. So once you get your ballot, you can fill it out and send it back in immediately. So yeah, so like I said, you can postmark, as long as they're postmarked by June 8th and received by a city clerk within 10 days, they will be counted. But it's encouraged to do it as soon as possible. Just, you all get kind of busy, and, you make sure you actually send it in. And also, just as a plug, I think there's a special election for our neighborhood. This is a different election, but I think May 16th for that one. May 18th, to use the right information, for the special election for our representative to the California State Assembly, or assembly member. Okay, and as a reminder, yeah, the Palms Rancho Park Library from June 4th to June 8th, you will be able to find the Dropbox. All right, next page. As a reminder of, we're talking about areas A through E. Where exactly are those? You can see the map here. Area A and B, which we had last Thursday, are on the more southwestern areas and go up to, I believe that's Motor. I'm actually not zooming in very well. Motor, and then up to our northern border is the 10 highway, or the metro line, depending on if you're a car or train person. Then you have area E, the top right-hand corner, and D is between B and E. Okay. And you can find this map on our webpage, I'm assuming, on our About page. Yes. Next slide, please. Okay, with that, we will move into our forum for tonight, starting with an unopposed seat, Kristen Chiarello. Hopefully, Kristen, I got that last name right. We did have, that used to be a competitive election with Kimberly Johnson, but she has withdrawn. You will still see her name on the ballot, though. But just know that Kristen is the only one still running. With that, we will give 1 minute for Kristen to give a statement. All right, Kristen, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Kristen Chiarello. I'm a proud member of the Palms Forward slate. I became involved with the NC in 2018 after volunteering at a cleanup, and I wanted to join every committee. I ended up joining outreach to help with overall awareness of the NC, and we've made amazing strides under the leadership of Randall Irving. I'm on the Green Committee. We're trying to help make LA more sustainable. I was appointed to the board last July. I try to stay aware of all the wonderful work of all the committees. I'm really proud to have co-created and oversee the Palms Volunteers with Jessalyn Waldron. I've advocated for and gotten trash bins, stop signs for Area E, and keep my neighbors informed when new buildings are coming. I am happy to help Palms keep local officials accountable, and I urge everybody to stay involved no matter what and help uplift this wonderful community. Thank you all for your time.
Okay, thank you, Kristen. Okay, we will now move into our competitive elections. So next we have Area C. And tonight we have three candidates, Brian Waters, Gabriela Sotomayor, and Michael Su. We did have two others, Amanda Soller and George Tezoris, but they have withdrawn from the election. Again, you will see them on the ballot. The way the format will work for tonight, we will give 2 minutes for an opening statement to each candidate. And then we will be doing a set of 6 questions, 3 that were sent to the candidates, giving 1 minute of response to each. And we'll be doing a modified snake to go through those. And then we also will open it up for the last 3 questions for the Q&A. Again, at the bottom of your Zoom panel, you'll see a Q&A button, and you can enter any question there, and we will select 3 for the candidates. So with that, we can bring the candidates forward. Do we have all 3 here?
I don't see Brian.
Okay. So for tonight, we will be just doing, there'll be 2 candidates. So we have Michael Su and Gabriela Sotomayor. Hopefully I got everyone's name right. If I didn't, you can correct me. Okay, with that, we will start with opening statements, and we'll go in alphabetical order from first name. So Gabriela, you can go ahead and go first for 2 minutes. The floor is yours.
Good evening. My name is Gabriela Sotomayor, and I'm hoping to obtain your vote for the residential Area C representative position. Born and raised in Glendale, California, I had the privilege of growing up with a sense of community. A child of immigrants, we came to rely heavily on our neighbors. From my kindergarten teacher who took it upon herself to teach me English, to our mailman's family who sent me care packages all throughout my time in college, I quickly learned the impact and value that your neighbors can have. As a new resident of Palms, I hope to bring a similar feeling to all those who consider Palms home. Having met with the current Sitting Council, my goal as Area C representative would be to strengthen the Council's engagement with you, to create more opportunities for us to discuss your aspirations and concerns regarding Palms, both virtually and in person. While my current areas of focus include providing accessibility of resources to our unhoused neighbors, ensuring affordable housing for all, uplifting our small businesses, and elevating policies to city councils that are representative of our neighborhood's interests, my priority is to serve as a vessel for the many voices of our diverse community. Without you, the voter, this position would not exist nor thrive. It is for that reason that I would place such importance on ensuring that your needs are first and foremost addressed if elected. In addition to myself, I hope that you consider casting your vote for the rest of the wonderful Palms Forward slate, a group of individuals who have committed themselves to prioritizing the well-being of Palms. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to answering all of your questions tonight.
Thank you, Gabriela. Okay, Michael, you have 2 minutes as well.
Thank you, Jeremiah. I am Michael Su, and I'm running for Area C representative. I would like to use this introduction time to talk about the priority issue that I'd like to accomplish if elected to the neighborhood council. I would like to slow down the streets. Now, we currently live in slow streets program era, which I appreciate immensely. I enjoy walking these neighborhoods and feeling the peace and the restorative effect of those walks, but I want to crank it up a notch. I want to install slow down signs on some of the streets, particularly National Boulevard as it descends from the 10 to Rose and as it continues along Mentone through Woodbine and Palms Boulevard. The speed coming down the 10 or coming down from the exit of the 10 is ferocious. We have so many near misses and we have collisions. We just had a big collision outside my apartment complex 3 weeks ago. But the speed continues along Mentone. That stop sign on Woodbine is so flagrantly disregarded that I want to quadruple the size of that stop sign, but I'm not going to push for that because that's ridiculous. But what I do want is a balance between vehicular traffic and pedestrian traffic. This is our neighborhood. These are our streets, and we are the residents. And I would like to push for that balance if elected on the neighborhood council. Thank you, and I look forward to the question and answer session.
Okay, thank you, Michael. With that, that brings us to our question and answer session. And the first question of the night is, what are your ideas for improving the quality of life in Palms? How do you plan to work on the Palms NC board to advocate for local Palms issues to the city of LA? And with this, we will start with Gabriella. And we'll go back and forth with a slight, won't be exactly back and forth right back, but it'll be as equitable as possible. All right, Gabriella, you have 1 minute.
First and foremost, I would create a space where individuals who may not currently be engaged with our neighborhood council feel welcome to take more of an active role by providing office hours, both virtual and eventually in person, communicating said office hours through social media outlets, and engaging with individuals in high traffic areas of Area C, keeping in mind social distancing guidelines and comfortability levels, of course. I hope to increase the council's exposure to those who we are representing. This in turn would provide us with visibility into the concerns and interests of our neighbors to better provide them with a list of events and activities that interest them, are enjoyable, informational, and initiate change that they may wish to see. In sync with this, I would request feedback from our neighbors to better understand the areas of Palms that they believe need a little help. I would gauge the appetite for issues pending before the City Council and bring forward Area C residents' feedback to the Executive Board with the hope that it initiates a community impact statement, an official statement or position that is adopted by the Neighborhood Council on issues pending before the city's decision makers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Gabrielle. Same question to you, Michael. What are your ideas for improving the quality of life in Palms, and how do you plan to work with the Palms NC board to advocate for local Palms issues to the city of LA?
Thank you, Jeremiah. I thought it'd be helpful if I gave you 2 points of departure for if I am elected on the neighborhood council. First off, regarding funding motions for things like the outreach committee or racial and social justice or homelessness, I'm a likely yay vote for any action that is furthered in pursuance of their goals, because I imagine that those actions would be of benefit to the livability and the quality of life in Palms. Secondly, I wanted to address any kind of motions regarding land use development, maybe apartment building complexes. I'm likely a nay vote for any large apartment luxury living situations because I don't want to see gentrification of this city unless the Plum Committee can bring forth some beautiful facts and figures on affordable housing units. Absent such a finding, I'm likely to vote nay. I hope this gives you a better idea of how I would behave on the neighborhood council. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. So for our next question, we have, what initiatives or events would you like to organize? As a board member, you would be required to serve on at least one or more Palms NC committees. Which one would you pick and why? And for this, we'll actually give, it's a little bit longer, we'll give it 1.5 minutes. All right, with that, we'll start with Michael.
Thank you, Jeremiah. I would like to join the Racial and Social Justice Committee. This March, there were about 2 weeks when I was walking in the neighborhood and I felt a little insecure. I wasn't sure if the person that was walking towards me hated me, or worse yet, wanted to do bodily harm to me. Unfortunately, this was a result of some national incidents that were aimed at people that looked like me. And so I felt vulnerable. I imagine many of you have felt that kind of vulnerability at some point in your lives, and this is no way to live. I began to have mistrust towards my community, to the neighborhood. What we need to do is listen to each other's stories, listen to each other's struggles. And the Racial and Social Justice Committee is a space for the talking, discussing, and hearing of these stories. That exchange of ideas will make that mistrust recede. And that's why I would like to be in further discussions and work within that committee. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Michael. Same question to you, Gabriella. What initiatives or events would you like to organize? As a board member, you'd be required to serve on one or more of the Palms NC committees. Which one would you pick and why?
Thank you so much, Jeremiah. Something that became apparent to me as a result of the quarantine was the need for assistance to neighbors that may not necessarily have access to resources that we all take for granted. Wi-Fi, transportation, even methods of communication that rely heavily on technology. I would love to engage the community in educational workshops in everything from emergency preparedness to use of point sale systems in small businesses to digital wallets in grocery stores. In sync with this, I would hope to lead a Help Your Neighbor initiative, where individuals can request help from their neighbors to accomplish tasks such as going to the grocery store, in order to further promote a sense of community. With regards to the committees, I was especially drawn to the Homeless Advocacy and Public Service and Business and Beautification committees. Possessing 9 years of experience in financial and accounting services, I believe that my experience could lend itself to further promote a thriving business community in Palms, while my drive to provide accessibility of resources to our unhoused neighbors would translate into actions to assist said neighbors. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. For our next question, we have, how do you think the Palms Neighborhood Council should work with the LA County and City of Los Angeles to help end homelessness in our neighborhood? And for that one, we will start with Amanda. Sorry,
Real
not
quick.
sorry. with Gabriella.
And real quick, Jeremiah, how much time for this question?
Let's just leave it a minute and a half
Okay.
for all these. There's enough time with this one. So you don't have to take the whole amount of time. All right, go ahead, Gabriella.
Thank you. So oftentimes when the issue of homelessness is discussed, I find that those who are currently experiencing houselessness are left out of the conversation. It is for that reason that I would prioritize the individuals whom we ultimately hope to assist. I would take the time to engage with those who are currently unhoused and those who are at risk of becoming unhoused, and prioritize the resources that they are seeking. I would ask them what they need in both the immediate future as well as long term. Continue upon the efforts currently being taken by the council, such as collaboration with the Palms Mutual Aid Organization, and support initiatives at the city council level that first and foremost prioritizes the dignity of our unhoused neighbors. Thank you.
Okay, same question to you, Michael. How do you think the Palms Neighborhood Council should work with the LA County and the City of Los Angeles to help end homelessness in our neighborhood?
Thank you, Jeremiah. When we get to a point when there are 400 police officers in riot gear, 100 cop cars, and 3 helicopters flying in the sky for 2 nights, we all have monumentally screwed up. Mercenary capitalism is putting more people on the streets than we're able to take off them. So I don't think of it necessarily as ending homelessness in Los Angeles so much as it's combating homelessness in Los Angeles. And we have a city council and a mayor's office that will use LASA as a bait and switch tactic, and then use Project Room Key as a hammer to bludgeon the community with. We need to maintain communications with the community. If we don't promote trust with them, they will see temporary housing as not advantageous in comparison to what they currently have and know. Which is why we need to increase our stock in permanent housing under the Project Home Key initiative. That is the first step in combating homelessness in Los Angeles. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Michael. With our next set of questions, as mentioned before, the Q&A button down at the bottom will be taking questions from the public. With our first question is, how will you help to engage people who may be intimidated or may lack the understanding of the workings of the neighborhood council system? Maybe intimidated or who may, reading the question. if I'm understanding it as written, how will you help engage people who may be intimidated or may not have the understanding of the workings of the neighborhood council system? All right, with that, we'll start with Michael.
Thanks for the question, Jeremiah. So what I would do is continue what I've currently been doing the past 3 weeks, which is walking these neighborhoods, particularly in Area C, and harassing people about this election and making them wonder if they really want to stay in Palms with someone like me talking to them, a complete stranger. In order to get around the complexity of the issues, I would recommend them joining these calls on Zoom, which they can do for the neighborhood council, as well as the committee meetings. I would want them to also vote, because it's important to stay active in that community. And if you don't vote for your representatives, you don't feel that connection. I'd also say that maybe when it's time to open up, we do more physical, how do I say this, advertisement of the space. Sometimes we use the Amman Cultural Center, other times we will use the fire station, but more appeal can be gained by having physical reminders that these spaces are used for the neighborhood council. Thank you for your question.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Same question to you, Gabriella. How will you help engage people who may be intimidated or may not understand how the workings neighborhood council system works?
Thank you for the question. And first and foremost, to reiterate back to my initial point, I think providing resources and educating those individuals that are currently existing in our neighbors in this neighborhood is 100% key, exposing them to the wonderful work that the neighborhood council is currently doing, as well as introducing them to how they can become involved, right? By joining committees, by attending Zoom calls. I think that part of the hesitation may be a lack of truly understanding what the neighborhood council really even does or represents. So providing them with that knowledge and extending the offer of joining the conversations that are currently being had, I think would be the way that I would go about ensuring that individuals who may be a bit more timid right now take more of an active role in their community.
Okay, thank you, Gabriella. Our next question comes of what unique experience do you believe would make you suited to managing the responsibilities of an area representative? And for this one, we'll start with Gabriella.
Awesome. So in my current role, I'm actually entrusted with the financial landscape of a series of business areas, all possessing their own unique qualities and personalities and goals. I strongly believe that as a result of my work over the last 9 years in my profession, I would be able to extend those qualities into our community. So being able to request feedback from individuals that may be a bit timid to provide it, or engaging in conversations with individuals who may not be as engaged as they would currently like to be, just because they don't have access to certain resources or the information. I think that in addition to that, my drive and my passion, I'm a firm believer that one should try to be as engaged as they can be within their community, which is part of the reason why, as soon as I moved to Palms, I said, how can I become involved? And I was fortunate enough to come across this area representative position. So that's what I believe and the qualities that I believe would make me best suited for this role.
Okay, thank you, Gabriella. Michael, same question. What unique experience do you believe would make you suited to managing the responsibilities of the area representative?
Thanks, Jeremiah. I'm going to borrow something from what I said in the previous question about going out to the neighborhood and really speaking with the electorate. Besides the harassing of strangers and these strangers allowing a stranger to talk to them about the neighborhood council, what has come across and is unique to me and my experience is the differences in opinion, maybe not necessarily of ideas, but the lens with which you view some of these ideas. I've come across a few neighbors who believed a certain way and shaped their ideologies a certain way that perhaps I wasn't completely aligned with. But listening to their points of view, the things that they were upset about or the things that they felt were being left behind in consideration is so important to this whole campaign. I've actually reworked some of my ideas in terms of what is priority for people in Palms, at least for Area C. This is unique because in speaking with the people, I get to better understand what they care about. And then I'm able to use what I believe is most important and likely to be the best action, and to mix them together and be the perfect representative for Area C. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Michael. Same question to you, Gabriella. Oh, sorry, I did that already. I apologize. I crisscrossed myself. We're still, Zoom is still, first, this is now the second time. I thought I would be better, but we'll continue. Last question. There was recently a motion passed in City Hall to increase the speed limit on Overland Avenue. If elected to the council, this or any other kind of representative, what would you include in the letter to help the city address this? So with that, we will start with Michael.
Thank you for that question, Jeremiah. Off the top of my head, what I would include, hopefully, is a diplomatic reaction to this idea of increasing speed on Overland, which I'm sure residents in Area C, as well as Gabriella, know. It's a bunch of speed demons going down, descending Overland Avenue. Now, luckily for me, I don't live on Overland, but I can imagine trying to get out of there during rush hour, whether it's ascending or, God forbid, descending, is hell. So back to the diplomacy. I would kindly remind them that there are residents, many residents who live in apartment complexes on Overland Avenue who would be deeply affected by this, and to remind them that their quality of life would be severely decreased. Not just walking down the sidewalks, obviously for that, but getting out of there, going to work, going to get their shopping done, going to visit people. I would remind them that it's not wise to adversely affect them in such a way, because currently it's poor. I repeat, currently that speed is too poor for that community. And you know how I feel about speed on National Boulevard in Mentone, so that would just double down on Overland. Thanks for the question.
Thank you, Michael. Same question to you, Gabriella. Since there was recently a motion passed in City Hall to increase the speed limit on Overland Avenue, if elected to the council, what would you include in the letter to the city to address this?
Thank you for the question. And I guess my first step would be to, rather than assume what the neighborhood or how the neighborhood feels about this passing, I would definitely go to that area, our neighbors that live on Overland, and gather their opinions and their feedback on this passing. Some of them may not even, be aware that it's happening, and I would love to garnish responses from them before drafting a response in form of a letter to city council, just because whatever I do put to paper, I want it to be representative of not only my own feelings towards, the speed limit, but also theirs. If they come to me and they say, actually, it might benefit us, then that will be what I communicate. If that is not the case, I will fervently battle to ensure that their feelings are communicated in the other direction. That's kind of the take that I would take on any policies that we're trying to get, our feelings heard about at the city council level, gathering feedback from our residents who it first and foremost affects, then analyzing said feedback and deciding what is most representative of the desires of the residents in this neighborhood.
Okay, thank you, Gabriella. So that ends the question and answer portion of the Area C representative forum. And with that, we'll be moving into closing statements. For that, we will start with Gabriella for a closing statements. You'll have 45 seconds to give a closing statement.
Thank you so much. So if given the privilege to represent you as Area C's representative, my priority would be ultimately to serve as a vessel for your questions, concerns, and aspirations for Palms, to ensure that our neighbors are aware of the resources that are available to them as we continue to battle COVID-19, to plan outdoor and virtual events that are both enjoyable and educational, whether that be emergency preparedness or workshops for skills or interests that are shared amongst our community. And finally, to obtain feedback on areas where you believe that Palms may need a little help. I recognize that I've only recently become a resident of Palms, but I hope that my desire to become involved so early on demonstrates my genuine interest and investment in this community. I hope to, with your guidance as the voter, move Palms forward. Thank you so much for listening in today, and I hope to obtain your vote. Have a great day.
Thank you, Gabriella. Same to you, Michael. 45 seconds for a closing statement.
I want to thank the election committee for putting together this candidate forum and for giving me an opportunity to introduce myself to the electorate. And I also want to move the listeners and the viewers to get that ballot and to vote for this election. Because in order to improve the quality of our neighborhood, your participation is of utmost importance. So regardless of who you vote for, if you vote for me or two of the other fine candidates, I implore you to stay active and to participate. Thank you for listening to me and have a good night.
Okay, thank you both for your participation in this forum. We will now move to the next area, area D. With that, if you can go ahead, Tina, put the slide back up. Okay, unfortunately, this forum did not work to many of the area D candidates' schedules, unfortunately. So for tonight, we have, or planning to have two from the, for area D to come, but notably 5 of the candidates, sorry, 6 of the 7 candidates are still in the running. We have Amanda Nelsky and Jessica Waldron, as well as Rashid Garazarvi, Marissa Jonan, Shiva Daravan, and Thomas Chu. I probably butchered some of those names, so I apologize for that. But do we have both Jesselyn and Amanda here tonight?
I don't think Amanda is on yet.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't look good.
So we'll have to go
So
to
I'll bring Jocelyn up.
Yeah, go ahead and do Jesselyn. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do the question and answer part, but we will give Jesselyn a chance to do a 1-minute statement. Okay. All right, Jesselyn, go ahead.
Okay, I want to first apologize. My teeth aren't blue. I don't know why this background's turning me blue. But thank you to the elections committee for holding this candidate forum tonight. We're so lucky in Palms to have such amazing people like you guys do this this kind of work to promote civic engagement in our community. I'm bummed I didn't get to meet any of my opponents. I really I wanted to hear from them, and I think that it's important that everybody running in this race, whether you win or not, stay involved and learn a little bit about each other. I hope to work with so many people that are running that I've heard speak both in this forum and the last forum. I hope that they get involved in committees. I hope to meet them. There's so many great people who have said so many great things. So again, like this community is just, it's been so amazing to really dive deep into in the past 2 years. I guess to talk a little bit about what I've done in the past years. Oh, I have 5 seconds left. Okay, well, anybody can reach out to me in Area D. I'm the current representative, and please vote for me and the Palms Forward slate.
Thank you, Jesselyn. Yeah, that timer will sneak up on you. Okay, thank you for your participation, Jesselyn. And with that, it was a lot faster forum tonight than we had on Thursday. Go ahead, Tina, and put up the okay. As a foot stomp on our elections, just a reminder that mail-in ballot requests they have to be in to the city by June 1st. You are able to go onto the portal or actually request a ballot. I think you can request a ballot by mail as well. Though I do recommend the electronic request. And then reminder that the election day is June 8th. Remember to have your ballots postmarked by June 8th and in the mail, or you can go to the Palms Rancho Park library starting June 5th to drop off your ballot. Next slide. And all the information is on our Palms Neighborhood Council elections page. There is a video, a snappy video that can help explain how to vote in this vote by mail only election. And be sure to share that with any of your friends in Palms so they too know how to vote. We will briefly, if anyone has any questions on the election itself, you can put it in the Q&A. We'll hold on just a moment for anyone that has any questions about voting or the election itself. Otherwise, I think that's the end of our forum tonight. I thank all the candidates for their participation and the public for their participation, both here in the Zoom call and on Facebook Live. The Area D, the Area C forum will be available. Actually, the whole forum will be available on the webpage for those that missed. You can share with your friends in your Area C or D. And be sure to check out the candidate profiles also available on the website for those that especially for Area D, if you're curious about the other candidates, they have their candidate statements on yes, right there on the webpage, right there on the elections page. That'll take you to the city clerk's webpage that has the candidate statements available. Okay. All right. Thank you all for your participation. And I don't see any questions from the public. So that is it for tonight. Thank you. I will just go ahead and end it.